All right. Good morning, Game Changers Nation. My name is Stacy Peterson, and I'm excited to be with you today for our production mastermind. We are going to talk about a really cool product and how it can help you in your business, understanding where you are, how to get the best returns on what you're spending, what your conversion rates are, what your business is looking like. Is it healthy or not? What do your sales look like? How much are your team members paying? How much are you paying? How many referrals are you getting? All of this encompassed into one really cool product. So I am going to bring our guest. I'm going to spotlight our guest, Calvin. And Calvin, I'm going to let you actually do a little intro as well. But Calvin Mergen is, I still don't have you. Hold on a second. There we go. Calvin Mergen is the creator of CTE. And Calvin is going to kind of talk to us a little bit about this product, what it can do for our business. But before we jump into the product, Calvin, let me ask you a few questions.
You bet.
All right, awesome. I don't know if I can see you.
I got my screen on. I'm on the road here, so I'm a little bit limited on my camera capability.
No problem at all. Well, give us a little background. How long have you been in the industry? Tell us a little bit about you.
That's a good question. I haven't been asked that in a while. So I started in the industry about 20 years ago, and I started with a Keller Williams office doing their back end accounting work. And then I ended up doing that for 10 years. And through that process, I was able to kind of tap into the regional offices and started building reporting and tracking data for the regional office. And then that eventually led to tracking data for the international corporate office as well, because they needed some systems to track and their data for their offices. So that's kind of where I started. And then some of the agents started to see some of these reports and like, hey, we need something to truly track our business and monitor our business and have gauges on how we're doing inside of our own business. So I started working with our agents in our own local office. I'm in Minnesota, down in Rochester, which is basically Mayo Clinic's kind of our baby here. So I started working with the agents in our office, creating stuff for them. And then they started showing other agents. And then social media has been a huge benefit for us because they would show it on social media and people are like, well, I need that. Then I'm like, holy cow, there actually is a need for this out there because agents truly in our industry struggle with knowing their numbers and tracking their data. It's one of our biggest issues we have. And it's one of the biggest separators from the successful agents to the agents that fail in our industry, which there are some stats out there. I think it's like 80% of real estate agents fail within the first 5 years of the business. And a lot of it is they don't treat it as a business and actually running in their business and knowing their numbers. It's tough to sustain over a long period of time if you don't treat it as a business. So it just kind of gravitated. And was not trying to build my own business on this side. I was just trying to help out agents. And also everybody's like, I need it. And then it kind of just gradually snowballed into what it is today. So this has been going on I've been in the industry for 20, and then CTE's been around for 10 years. This is going to be the 11th year coming up of this system. And we're constantly evolving it, adding new features based off of feedback from the agents. Because there's so many brilliant minds out there saying, hey, we needed to be able to do this, and we just constantly keep improving it and adding new features to it. So that's kind of where I started and how I got to where I am in a little nutshell there.
Yeah, no, that's really great. And, one of the coolest things I think about understanding your numbers and, on our call here, Calvin, just so you know, we have agents, with all sorts of production, brand new agents to agents that are selling over 800 homes a year. And I feel like that tracking is sometimes missed. It wasn't something I was originally strong at. So we use CTE as well. But why do you think tracking is so important from your perspective and what you've heard from agents kind of using, whether they use CTE or not, but just tracking as a whole?
Yeah. And especially now with the market kind of shifting in many areas, is to be able to know where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. So when market, because over the last 2 years, you could probably get away without tracking and done very well. People weren't doing their lead generation because business was just coming in. We're finding that out now that people are tapping it. There's 3 features here of my business, and then the lead generation. People are really getting back into the lead generation because we have to get out there and generate these leads again and track that progress. So being able to build something that's a business that is duplicatable and predictable is the only way to do that is by tracking your data. So to be able to have a great year this year, know where your business came from, your lead sources, and knowing what's working, what's not working inside of your business is so powerful to building something and building something bigger than what you currently have. If you want to stay where you're at, that's easy. But if you want to increase your production, the last thing you want to do is work twice as hard to make more money. You want to work smarter and not harder to make that more, basically double your business. And if you don't track your business, it's virtually impossible to do that. So tracking it just gives you such a huge advantage over your competition.
Yeah. And let's jump into that, because I think this is so great how you started with lead generation. So
yes,
a lot of agents that, even when I was big in production, one of the things I didn't quite understand is, how do I know that the money I'm spending is actually giving me a return? Correct. And then secondly, how do I know if that's a good return, or, how do I know that that lead source is something I should spend money on? Because people will say, go deep in database marketing, which is something we always recommend. And then another person will say, well, I get all my business from Zillow. And then the third person isn't getting results with Zillow. So when you look at tracking and how you help people understand, the returns and what's making them money and what to continue with, what does that look like?
Yeah, so I'll jump into that here real quick. I just want to preface this when I show you some of this stuff. If you're not familiar with the CTE, there's only 3 areas of entry. One is your business plan. That's just done, once a year, unless you want to tweak it throughout the year. That'll take you 20 to 30 minutes to do. The heart of this system is my business. And this is just basically your contracts that you guys are listing, pending, and then closing. You just put them in here. The system does everything else for you. So if I jump into my business, I can see all of my pending contracts. It color codes everything for you. Anything closed is in green. And then when you enter in a contract, it asks you, where did that contract come from? So you can type in any lead source. So I can type in test and it'll take it, or you can choose from the dropdown and add your lead sources. But what that does, when you add that lead source in, if you click on the source header here, I can see, and this is a demo account, so it's kind of just a job of stats here, but it shows me my business and where it's coming from. So I can see my top lead sources of my business, top listing lead source, where are my listings coming from, and then my top buyer lead sources. Again, all of this is automatically generated. It's also going to, so in this demo account here, Geographical Farm is my #1 lead source. We've sold 2 off of Geographical Farm. It shows me how much GCI we've made, what our net is. So basically if I'm running a team, I pay out team members on those Geographical Farms. I've actually netted 5,000, the volume. The other thing it does is it also shows me what do I currently have pending with that lead source. So I can see, is that lead source still producing business for me, or is there nothing in the pipeline for that lead source? And that may be something I want to monitor. If you put your listings in here, it'll show you what your active listings that you have under that lead source as well. It shows you the average commission you're generating from those lead sources and the average sales price as well. So it gives you a complete overview of all of your lead sources, what's working, what's not. It'll also show you throughout the year when that lead source was productive for you. So when did you generate revenue from that lead source? So it just gives you great information and you can be as specific as you want on those lead sources.
Oops. Yeah, that's awesome. And I love all the data that it gives you, because it's definitely helping you see like what months
Yeah.
Am I actually returning on this? And maybe that's corresponding with, like, this one was a geographical farm. So maybe you were great at mailing for a while and then you let off the gas, and it tells you what kind of returns you were getting during those months.
Exactly. And some lead sources are going to have a 60 to 90 day leeway where, we started doing it now, but now all of a sudden we started seeing that benefit 60 to 90 days down the road. So we can see that when that started to kick in versus, okay, I did it for 30 days. I got nothing. Well, that you might have to give it a little bit more time because it's consistency over time that's going to lead to those lead sources working for you.
I noticed too that you, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope. I go ahead.
I noticed you have an investment category. So you can put in your expenses.
Yep. So I'll show you that real quick. So we have a financial statement inside of the system as well. So I'll just click on the financial statement. I won't get too crazy on it right away here, but I'll show you the investment thing here. So if I have my drop down and I'll go, what was that one? Farming, geographical farm.
Yep, geographical.
I can put, let's say I spent $125 in January, $175 in February, and we did a big push in March. So I've spent $800 on geographical farm. When I jump back to lead source and ROI, it automatically pulls that investment in here. So I can see how much I've actually invested into it. My net has just dropped by 800 because I spent 800 on it. But it also shows me my return on investment is 994% because I've invested 800 and I've made $4,200 on it. So you can put in those investments and see if you're actually getting a positive return on those.
I think that's one of the most important parts, because then you can really assess if it's working or not working.
Yeah. And in today's market, you're kind of a guessing game a little bit because it's so interesting how this has shifted in the last 6 to 9 months. So to know what is working is so crucial. And especially when you're trying to build a business over a long period of time, to be able to have this data at the end of the year to know, okay, these are the things that work great in 2022. Let's emphasize certain areas in 2023 to try to boost our production. If you don't know where that business was coming from, it's hard to go back to those wells to generate that business again if you don't know where it came from.
Yeah, definitely. So if someone is just kind of hearing about tracking and sort of the importance and kind of like, okay, I'm seeing the light a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think are kind of some of the easiest ways to get started? Even, in CTE like this, what's the way to get going, and how, as a business owner, then do you read the reporting? Because I'm assuming every agent, and I didn't either, go through every tab. There was a couple summaries.
Yeah. Number one, don't go through all the tabs. Those are there for people who get experience with it and start wanting to tap into different things. So the first thing as a business owner, this homepage, I truly feel we try to make this homepage, and we're adding more and more to this to simplify it and customize it to what you want. But it gives you a great snapshot of your business right here on the homepage. So it shows you what you have for your active inventory. You can also track your active buyers, which I think is going to be a more prevalent thing now with the market shifting, because buyers aren't finding the homes that they need. When you sign a buyer under buyer rep, it's just like a listing. You can put them in as active, put their price point that they're looking at. Then you can see how much revenue you have sitting out there in people under the buyer broker or buyer rep agreement. You're pending, you're closed, what your cost of sales of your business is. I can see that we're keeping 56% of our money that we're generating. As a CEO, as a business owner, that's a number I need to know. What percentage of my business am I actually keeping? And then you can actually enter in your expenses in here. And then it gives you a quick little summary here, your KPIs for the month. What's happening this month? I can see exactly what's going on here. And then some key metrics to keep an eye on. What is most agents, if you ask them, they don't know these numbers here. What is your average listing sale price? I can see it's $281. My average listing commission is $7,800. Commission percent is 277. My listing sold days on the market is 15. My average buyer sale price is 250. My commission, my average buyer commission percentage, and then how long they sit on the market. So it gives you some key metrics of your business that are going to things to keep an eye on, especially as these market shifts, to see if these things are dipping or if they're raising. Because if sales price dip, then it's going to, if you want to make the same amount of money, you're going to have to do more transactions. So things to keep an eye on. And then I think this live income breakdown right here is just extremely powerful, because the ability in real estate is to be able to see forward at your business, not just backwards. If you can't see what's coming, it's going to be very hard to prevent bad months and keep your business sustainable. What it does is it shows you your future months. So I can see in October, we have $88,000 coming in. As a CEO, I can instantly see that. In November, we have 56,000. And then in December, we have 43,000. And I can also see, because I have some closings that are happening in 2023, how those months are building out. So I can already see we have $39,000 coming in January, 10,000 in February, 23,000 in March. So if you have those 2023 closings, it'll start building that out here for you as well. So it gives you a complete snapshot of what you did, what's going on currently, so our current month of September, and what do our future months look like? Because we are in a different industry where our sales take 30, 60, sometimes 90 days to close. So we need to know those future months' revenue and be able to make business decisions based off of what's coming up inside of our business. Gives you a quick little cash flow of your business. How much is closing? How much am I keeping over the next 50, 30, 60, and 90 days? So if I was just starting, that is really all I would need until it's kind of like I compare it to getting a new car, because cars nowadays have so many options and bells and whistles going on inside of them. When you get in there, you don't play with every one of them. You stick to what you know. And then you slowly will start learning those new buttons and features like, wow, that is actually a really cool feature. I'm going to start using it. That's how I tackle CTE. Stick to your home dashboard here. That's your car dashboard, your speedometers. Stick to that. And then once you get comfortable, you can start tapping into other reports inside of the system.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And I know as an agent, sometimes when our sales are fluctuating, we can feel depressed when it's down, and we feel, like overwhelmed when it's up. So this is nice to kind of see like, hey, the sky is not falling in 3 months. I actually have a closing or two, but I need to keep moving. I can't just like not show up now till the end of the year, which some people do too.
And what a lot of agents' motivator is their bank account. So they'll look at it, oh, I got to get to work. Well, let's not let your bank account be the motivator. Let's let this window of what's already coming down the pipeline be the motivator to say, hey, I've got to get going. I'm not going to hit my goal here in November, because it has the goal that you have from your business plan on here as well. So I can see how close I am to hitting those goals as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I like that you also incorporate your business plan in there. So maybe we could jump to that and kind of explain the planning process.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll jump in. So the first part is the business plan. And this is a team setup in this scenario. So there's just 3 areas of the business plan. Up here is basically your split in your company information. So I'll walk through that real quick. So what's your agent and your team name? You can type that in. This is CTE demo. Are you a team? Are you an individual? You can toggle that. We have this goal override, which actually I found about 80% of the people use this simple goal override. It allows you to just type in your team goals. So teams fluctuate throughout the year. So sometimes, hey, I've got a goal for our team. I just want to put that in there. And as I add team members throughout the year, I don't want our goal to fluctuate, because this is our goal for the team. So you can put that in here. Your estimated taxes, it will calculate that for you. If you have a broker split, what that is to the brokerage. Does it cap? You can put that in here. If you have anniversary months, you can put those in here as well for your royalty. What does that cap at? What's that percentage? And then it's basically just putting in your goals. So in this situation, our goal for our team is $2.5 million in GCI, and it'll calculate everything else for you. Once you start putting in, where is that business coming from? Let's say it's 30% from the listing side and 70% buyer. You can change that to whatever your team is. You put in your average sale price on a listing and a buyer, your average commission, and everything will calculate for you. It'll tell you exactly how many units that's going to take, how many listings you need to take, how many appointments. It goes all the way down to the amount of appointments that you need to go on to generate that amount of income. So it'll calculate all of that for you. And then you can put in each team member and their goals as well. And then it'll hold them accountable to what their goals are. So you can have one-on-one meetings with your agents as well.
That's awesome. And if you haven't been tracking before, maybe, you know, what your conversion percentages are on listings and buyers, what do you do?
So we do have some standard percentages in there. You can just leave those in there because we do have the percentages that close. So if you take a listing, what percentage close? Obviously, if you're better at that, your amount of activities go down. If you're not as good, your activities are going to go way up because you're going to have to do more. So you can leave the standard ones in there, and again, that's why this is so crucial, because now if you do start tracking, you will know these conversion rates down the road versus just using a standard number. So it'll track all of those conversion rates for you.
So would you recommend then, because it has daily activities, that you would come back in here every day to see, you know, how many contacts you need to make daily and then monthly, or is there a summary of that as well?
Yeah, so you can jump to, oops, I apologize, jump back to the homepage here. You can do this. If you want to look individually, we've got this thing called the Agent Scorecard, and it'll tell you on here, and I apologize, I don't have any data on here for the lead gen, but it shows you how many contacts you've made each month, what your year-to-date goal is. My annual goal is to make 1,196. Year-to-date is through the current month. If I had entered in my contacts into this demo account, it would show how many I've made. And it's a good accountability thing here, because once these activities start dipping, if you slow down your lead generation, you know your future revenue is going to slow down. So these are lead indicators. So it'll show you each month, how many contacts are you making? What's your contact to appointment percentage? So when you make a contact, how often are you setting an appointment? It'll calculate that for you. So you can see if you're getting better with your lead generation, if you're struggling or whatever it may be. How many listing appointments have you set? I wish I had that data in this demo account so you could see it, but it'll track all of those on a monthly basis, give you your totals for the year, where you should be at. Are you up or down in those lead generation areas? And these are, again, like I said, over the last 60 days, we've noticed a huge influx on the amount of people tracking lead generation activities again. They got off that pedal because business was just coming in. Now they're getting back on it because, hey, we have to do these activities. We were in a rare situation where business was so good we didn't need to. Now everybody's getting back on that.
Yeah. And one of the things I love about your reports is it's for a visual person as well as someone that likes to, you know, read numbers, because I like the dials so I can see it really quick. And I'm not as big on reading numbers as much. So I love that about your reports are for everybody.
Yep. We try to, exactly. We try to make them visual, but then there's always, hey, I need to see the detail to have a one-on-one with the agent. Perfect. You have the detail there as well.
Yeah, that's really great. So if people are wondering, like you said, the homepage is super important, right? If you have teams, you can have individual numbers like this, but as like the CEO of your business, besides the homepage, what else is a great report to look at? How often? What are some things you feel are the most important?
Yeah, well, we have been demoing this new report, and this one has got the best feedback we've ever gotten on any report. And everybody's going to be getting this for 2023. So I'll show it to you. Some of you may have it if you're demoing it for us, but it's called the CEO board. And what I love about this report is it shows me the entire year. It highlights the month that we're in. We're in September. And it shows me in the month, each month, what did we close? So I can see what we closed. My current month, it shows me what we've closed and what's forecasted to close. So I can see we're looking at 42 units for September. So it combines your closed and your forecasted here. So you can see the total. I can see my volume throughout the year, each month, what did we close, my GCI each month. I can see this month we've closed 102, 272 is projected to close because we have 170 pending. I can see my cost of sales. So as a CEO, where did our money go? So we generated 111,000. 47,000 went out to cost of sales, which was 42%. So our net GCI was 64,000. And then I punched in a few expenses. So it puts those in here. And then it shows me my profit each month. So being able to see from top to bottom of your business throughout the entire year. And it shows you you can see these are kind of grayed out because they haven't happened yet, but we're looking at your data and we're saying, well, based off of what you have pending in October, here's what you're looking at. In November, here's what you're looking at. December, and then here's your 2022 entire year totals. So as a CEO, you can see your business from top to bottom in one report and see your future months as well. This is a perfect little report that everybody will have in 2023, and some may have already.
Oh, this is by far my favorite report that you made, I think.
Yeah, people have, this is perfect. And then for 2022, it shows you your totals with the forecasted to close. So based off of what we have right now, we're looking at 313 closed units for the year. We've closed 259, 54 are projected to close. So I can see what we're actually looking at for our year-end totals based off of our forecast as well. So that one's
and
perfect.
I love the percentages and the dollars because, as a coach or even as the CEO of your own business, these percentages and numbers, if you're overspending, if you're paying too much, what your net profit is, those are so important to understand. So this is such a great snapshot.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And as an admin, you could just print this off and throw it on the CEO's desk. They don't even have to log in. They can also access all of this on their phone as well. You can log in mobilely and grab all of your data. I'll jump to another one on top of this is I like the if you're running a team, I like the snapshot. We get people like this one because it's fully customizable. You can choose what you want to see on here, and it has 4 different leaderboards for your team, and you can choose what you want to look at and any time frame you want to look at. So I'm looking yearly. I'm looking at the entire year. I can see on our team sold units. We've done 259, and I can see it automatically ranks everybody on our team. So I can see who's doing what. And I've got put under contract here. I could do listings sold. Who sold the most listings on our team? Boom, instantly pulls that data for me. And you guys can customize this to any categories you want. And then these top section here, you can customize this. I've got closed GCI, projected to close, what we put under contract, how much volume, how many appointments did we set? And again, you can change these to anything you want as well. So you have a fully customizable snapshot of your business. And again, I can say, okay, we're doing awards for first quarter of the year. I can choose first quarter, and it goes in there and grabs all that data, and I can see who did what. So it's a perfect little customizable report for you.
Yeah, that's great. And you can, like you said, you can see what you're trying to see in a snapshot instead of just what the report says.
Yeah, because sometimes what we have on there may not be quite what you're looking for. Here you can virtually build it how you want it.
Yeah, I love it.
The other one too here is the whiteboard, which is a very highly used report. What this shows you is it goes in there and grabs all of your data. So it shows you all of your newest listings. What are they? When did we list them? All of our upcoming closings. In this demo account, I haven't kept up. So we do have some closings that are overdue. We can see that. So all of our upcoming closings are on here. all of our recent closings are on here as well. So I can see when they closed, how much, who closed it, all of that's on here. And then it gives you some numbers up on top. I can see what we have for active listings of our inventory, how much of it is under 90 days. And of course, I'm in this demo account, so all of my listings are old. I haven't updated any there. So all of my inventory is over 90 days. That's not good. So it'll tell you how much of your inventory is under 90, how much is over 90. Pending, we have 62 units pending, 16,440,000 in GCI. Of that, 30 or 40 of them are closing in the next 30 days. We've closed 259. And in the last 30 days, we've closed 23 of them. So it gives you a nice little view of your business and shows you all the contracts automatically. And again, the key to this, all of that stuff automatically generates. All you're doing is putting in the contracts there into My Business. Let's see if there's another one. Unless there's questions on that, I will jump into a couple more. I don't want to completely overwhelm you, but we do have reports that you can constantly grow into.
Yeah, no, this is great. And I'll open up for questions here in a little bit. But one thing I know that people will wonder, if they have a team, their team members have a special login so they can log their numbers and they don't see everything.
Correct. Yep. So the team members have a login as well. So they'll be basically, when they log in, they're going to see their scorecard. And this scorecard also shows them all of their contracts, so they can see what they have for upcoming closings. So you're basically, we're trying to teach them to be business mindset as well. So if they can see what they have for future income on their login, and they can see, hey, whoa, I don't have anything coming in future months, because it does graph out their income here. And Beth is doing well. She's got money coming in September, October, November, December. But if they can see that they don't have any in, it's a motivator for them to get back to lead generating and generate some business. Shows all of their closings on here as well, but allows them to have limited login capability and see their data, so they can, again, try to become a business owner themselves and understand their business.
Yeah, that's awesome. So any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. I'll read some of these out for Calvin.
Okay.
Calvin, can you first talk, how do they get CTE and what's the cost?
Yeah. Okay. So real quick here, the website that you would go to is ctebiz.com. So ctebiz.com. And it's free for 30 days. So you try it and say, we don't like it. We don't even ask a question. We probably should ask why you don't like it, but we don't. If you don't like it, no problem. So you go here, and then you can, if you're a team, you can click on pricing. It's 30 days free for individual or for a team. So try it for 30 days or try it for 2 days. And I would at least give it 15, put some data in there. And then you say, it's just not working, and that's okay. We get that, but at least give it a shot. And it's just ctbiz.com. There's some videos on here. Here's the mobile. I mean, you can be laying in bed, pull up on your phone. You can see all of your income, all of your KPIs for the month, all of your cash flow, everything right there on in your fingertips. As a CEO, CEO board, all of this stuff is going to be right there for you.
Perfect. That's awesome. Carolina, I think we answered your question about the numbers. Calvin, are there any updates besides the one you mentioned with the CEO board that were made for 2023?
There are about 4 or 5 things we are working on right now. One is we're going to we're looking at simplifying the business plan a little bit. So I'll hopefully have some screenshots on that soon. And then we have some new customizable reporting that we're going to have built in here. That's trying to give a better visual and give you guys more control over what you see. And then we're just cleaning up some of the reporting and making it much more visual and eye appealing on some of these reports. So there's a few things we have in the works. I don't have a screenshot on them, but yeah, we do have some stuff coming.
Perfect. And I know every year you're always, and throughout the year, but always adding to it to make it more simple, like you mentioned, and just better reporting, because everybody kind of has their spin on what they want to see in reporting.
It's hard to please it's hard. We try, but we get such great feedback throughout the year on ideas, and we're not like a black hole. When you have an idea, we put it into our little folder, and that is something we try to implement, unless it's just something that we can't do or it just doesn't make complete sense to do.
Yeah, and actually Todd had wrote in the chat too that how great, you have lots of compliments in the chat, but also how great it is and how responsive you are. And I definitely second that.
Yeah.
If you have a question or help, you guys are on it.
Yeah, that's one of our things, is we try to be on top of it. The other thing that we do too is every business is different. There's so many different models out there nowadays. If you need something customized in here to make it work for you, we will do that. So if there's, hey, we have to be able to track this in our business, it's not in CTE, put it in there. We will do everything we can to get that into the system for you. And you'll basically have a little hybrid version of CTE with the customization to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Amanda kind of has a specific question. Under the business plan tab, what's the best way to include the team split? Right now, we have it listed that our team is the lead agent, and then we have the team goals zeroed out.
So the team, like what an agent pays to the team?
Amanda, why don't you unmute? And then you can ask.
Hi.
Hey.
So we have it set up that our team leader is still in production. So to like accurately report it, the production that she does, we pay her like quote unquote a split too as an agent. So we can see what she makes as an agent versus what the team income has coming in. So in that top line where your name is for the lead agent, we don't have her. We actually have it as the team because we want to be able to list out the splits for everyone.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is on like the home page when it's reporting like the leaderboards and things like that, it's actually showing the team as if the team is an agent, when really it's just the split that the team is, the agents are paying to the team. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can you, if you don't mind, if you shoot me a quick email on that, we might have to just tweak something on it to make it all that way. We can absolutely do that.
Okay, great. Yeah, because in the My Business tab, what we do, I enter in each transaction as I put in like the agent who's working on it as the agent one, and then the secondary agent is the team.
Got it. Okay. Yep, we can tweak that 100%.
Okay, awesome. I'll shoot you an email. Thank you.
You bet.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. And Calvin, can you show people where to get support, like training? I know you have a whole thing. Where do they do that?
So inside of the program here, we have a button here. Maybe we should make it a little brighter or something, but the CTE support is on the top left here. If you click on that button, it'll bring you right to it. Because again, there's a quick little overview of the 3 areas that you enter: how to set up your business plan, how to enter in contracts, and how to do the lead generation. Outside of that, everything else is going to be virtually automatic. And then once you get past that, you can schedule a one-on-one with us. So how to set up mobile access so you guys have access. The team member logins, how to set that up. If you're running a team, we've got virtually a video for everything. Setting up the TV monitors, tracking your ROI, adding team members, removing team members, sharing with an admin or a coach. A video here that kind of summarizes the reporting, a video on the financial statement. How do I pay out a team member? We do have some transaction checklists in here as well, so you can track your progress of your transactions. How do I do a dual-sided transaction, sorting and filters? So we virtually have everything on here. And then if nothing answers your question there, jump on the support, and then we'll get in touch with you, hopefully within the 4-hour time frame, and answer that question. So again, that was just on the homepage, top left of the homepage, or it's ctefaq.com is the direct link to it.
Awesome. Can you show, I don't know if it's possible, can you show what the data entry screen looks like for team members? So where they go and they actually enter their info so we can see what they've done?
Yeah, let me see if I can do that real quick. So basically, they're going to get a URL. It's a small little URL, and they're going to be able to enter this on their phone or on the desktop. And I don't have the names in here, but they would choose their name from the dropdown. Choose, okay, today is the 9-27, 2022. How many hours did I do of lead generation today? So let's say I did a half hour. If you want to track dials, sometimes dials, some people are like, it's too small of a thing to track, but you can track them. Let's say I made 50 dials. I made 10 contacts. Nurtures are basically how many of people did you follow up with that our leads were working? Did you set any listing appointments? You know what? I set one and I'm done. I hit submit and that data flows instantly into the, or in about 20 seconds, it'll flow into the system. But that's all they have to fill out. They can do it on their desktop or on their phone. They can do it daily, weekly, however often you want them to be doing it.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And it's really great to, you know, when you're having weekly meetings with agents or yourself, right? You're looking at what you're doing for activities. It's really easy to look at and see what's happening.
So I can see inside of CTE that entry just came in. Choice A was my thing, a half hour of lead gen, dials, contacts on the 27th. So that will be tied. Normally it would be an agent's name there. It would be tied to all of their reporting. And you can see the log because this will be a log of everybody's entry. So if somebody screws up, you can also go in here and change it. So you can see the detailed log of all of your agent's entries here, and then it'll automatically funnel to all the reports as well. Great.
So that's actually the lead gen tab.
Yeah. So that's the third area of entry would be, that's the one that's getting all the, well, okay, we got to get back into this. We got to start doing our lead gen again.
Perfect. Someone asked the question, can you integrate your CRM tools and maybe a Splunk database back end to generate reports, or do you have to enter each data point?
So right now, each of them are standalone entries. The one thing we're working on is on the lead gen with Zapier, is to be able to pull from different CRMs to pull in the lead generation activities. That's something we're going to hopefully have at some point in 2023 where you can just zap that data in. The contracts themselves, based off of the data, people are like, I don't want to, you know, I've got 5 or 6 systems. Some of them are very messy. Some of them are clean. This is one thing I don't want to be messy is my business. So this will probably be a standalone as it is, but the lead generation activities we're working on is have a Zapier integration to multiple different platforms.
Okay, perfect. Gary asked the question because he is a current CTE user. He wants to get going on 2023 goal planning with the team.
Yes. So it'll be fully available October 15th. If you want to do it, so on October 15th, there's going to be a big pop-up that happens on your CTE that says, hey, start your 2023 business planning now. Otherwise, if you want it, if you're starting before that, if you shoot me an email, I can get you set up. And then what we'll do at that point of October 15th is enhance your 2023 platform. So you can do it now. If you are doing a business planning clinic, just shoot me an email and I'll get you set up on it. But otherwise, there will be a pop-up button on October 15th.
Perfect.
And 2, just to piggyback on the year-end process, what we do, you keep entering in all of your contracts. It'll start building out your 2020. Even if it closes in 2023, you still put it in here. It's going to start building that out here for you. And then at the end of the year, we merge all of your data and all of your historical data over to the new system for you.
Oh, awesome.
So you still have your file for each year, but then in your new year, you have all of your historical data. So you can see one thing, and apologize, this multi-year trends is not going to show up on this demo account, but you're going to be able to see a 5-year window of your business. How is it growing? Is it going up? Is it going down in units, volume, income? You're going to get a complete snapshot of this. It's also going to track, and this is, I think, is going to be really cool to be able to see happen over the next few years, is your average sale price on a listing, on a buyer. How is that trending? Is that going up? Is that going down? My average commission. My average commission percentages, are those going up? Are they going down? Am I having to, unfortunately, maybe discount some stuff to make it go? You're going to be able to see all of these stats on your multi-year trends report.
That's cool, because you can see like seasonality too for your own business and even compare it to MLS. That's
exactly.
great.
So I can see my closed unit seasonality of 2021, very comparable to 2022. I can see how that happened here. So I can see that, and I can even look if I have this data in here, which I didn't do a good job of for the demo, but it'll show you those trends so you can really get a good view of your business and how it's trending over the years and months of each year.
Oh, very good. Very good. Michael asked, can this replace QuickBooks for tracking all business expenses?
We have a lot of people that do, and then we have some people that use both. So on the financial statement, you could absolutely do this. So it's going to automatically generate your income and your cost of sales for you. So I can see all of my income for each month, listing, buyers, referral income, transaction fee income, bonus income. Where did my money go? Referrals, listing agents on my team, buyer agents, and it gives me a percentage of each of these. Total cost of sales, my gross profit, and then I can enter in. You can be as detailed as you want. You can type in any expense you want and put those numbers in here, and it's going to give you your total expenses and your net profit for you. So you can absolutely do that. So some people use both because they get very detailed in QuickBooks, but if it's not getting too detailed, you can easily do that.
Perfect. I love it. Would CTE make sense for an investor to use that has multiple cash flowing rental properties?
Ooh, that's a good question. We could probably tweak it to do it. It would, because I'd have to kind of look at how that business works, because we can tweak this to kind of fit almost anything. Like we've tweaked it for loan officers to make it work for them. So I would, if you have that, if you could email me and kind of give me a breakdown of how that works, we may just have to tweak it for you.
Okay, perfect. Are there any other questions that anybody has along the terms of, getting started with CTE? Calvin, you did an amazing job giving us, just the nuts and bolts of how we can get started with this.
Yep,
like you mentioned, there's, there's so much to it.
Yeah. People that have been in it for 6 or 7 years, like they get it. They tap into a lot more. But when they started, they're like, I didn't even know this existed, and I love it. It's no different than, like I said, on your car. You start finding new things that they, oh Jesus, automated cruise control, or just crazy stuff that they have in cars now. You don't use them all right when you get the car, but you slowly start tapping into them.
Yeah. Michael, do you have a specific question about the lead gen tab? You can unmute.
Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, perhaps I wasn't paying close attention. Was there, were there tools in the lead gen?
Yeah, so basically, when you come to the lead gen, there's a button here to activate the form. So then we activate that form for you. And then once that's activated, we're going to give you just this tiny little URL that's specific to your team. And then your agents can use that. They can save it on their phone. And at one click, they can update their lead generation. And it'll also, there's this KPI report.
Okay.
It'll rank everything here for you too. So you guys can come in here and see a summary of your lead generation. So who's making dials? We can say, all right, this month we're going to make a push. So this month we can see what everybody's doing and put this up on a TV monitor as well.
Got it. Thank you.
You bet.
Great. Well, Calvin, thank you so much for sharing with us and showing us this tool. It's amazing. I know we recommend it to everyone. So you can see your business at a glance, track it. You can be as in-depth or not as you want to.
Yep.
You've got great training. So we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. And I'm sure I'll open my email here and have a few emails from you. So I'll try to get back to you guys right away.
Perfect. Can you mention where they go again to sign up, just so we've got it?
Yep. So it's just going to be ctebiz.com, ctebiz.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Calvin.
You guys have a great day.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.